Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor, and I'm bringing the energy today. We're talking about 5 overrated running backs going into the 2021 fantasy football season. You want to strap in, put on those headphones, whatever you want to do. I'm going to dive into the details on why these running backs are overrated. We're going to deep dive here. We're going to look at some stats, look at the scenarios, look at the situation. I'm going to explain why I feel these particular running backs are overrated. Guys like Austin Ekeler, a lot of people talking about him. As soon as I ended up posting that I don't like Austin Ekeler again because he busted last year and that whole story, which I'll explain, all the mainstream sheep are now all over Austin Ekeler saying, you got to draft Ekeler again. He's the guy. He's prime. They improved their O-line, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to dive into Austin Ekeler, Joe Mixon, and a couple other guys that I feel are completely overrated, and I personally will not be drafting. So strap in, guys. It's going to be a good one. 2 big announcements before I get into this one. And before I even get into those big announcements, number one, guys, smash the thumbs up. I know it only takes a second of your time, but I appreciate it. Helps the channel, gets the message out to people that are unsuspecting, people that are, following the draft kits, the cheat sheets, and are being led astray. We want to lead people into the light this year, guys. We're going to scrap the draft kits. We're going to scrap the cheat sheets. We're going to get rid of the outdated magazines because they're outdated upon print and that cookie cutter advice. So smash thumbs up, guys. Helps the channel, and subscribe. Of course, hit the subscribe button. You guys are going to be in for a big season. And comment below. Let me know which running back that you think is overrated big time based on the consensus and the ADP rankings. As you're going through your mock drafts, you're going to see a ton of running backs coming off early, and you're like, oh, man, what a waste that was. Like last year with Kenny and Drake and guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire last year, completely overrated, but the mainstream pumped them up, right? It was crazy. So comment below. All right, the 2 quick announcements. Number one, manscaped.com. It's a good announcement because Father's Day is coming around. Uncle's Day, Grandpa, whatever. If you got a man in your life that really needs grooming, or he wants to shave his back, or whatever he wants to shave, get the Lawnmower 3.0 and the brand new 4.0, which is out. I've got it here in the background, Lawnmower 4.0. Amazing product. You can shave around the sensitive areas, not worry about getting nicked and cut. Now, if you use the promo code SHOWERLINE, you're going to save yourself 20%. I've also linked it here below on the YouTube channel. And just head on over to manscaped.com. When it asks you for a promo code to save some moolah, some cash, make sure you guys enter promo code SHOWERLINE, because you guys have seen my shower rants before. So SHOWERLINE, I thought that was a fitting promo code to save yourself some money. Go treat yourself. And finally, guys, Listeners League. This is going to be huge. I might be doing something else too with Listeners League, where you're going to battle the counselor in a best ball league. This is going to be huge. So that more to come on that. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek on that and talk. But if you guys want to win $500 cash, get ultimate bragging rights, head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com or link here below. Get the 16-round draft solution, the first ever and only video training, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players drafted each round, embedded in there. I'm going to do full mock drafts for you as I would draft the team. So it's like actually having me at the draft with you. So it's pretty big, guys. thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get the 16-round draft solution. Okay, guys? And you're entered for a draw to potentially be in the 12-person 1-point PPR draft hosted by me for a chance to win $500. Listeners League, guys, this is huge. That's the only way you can get in, is if you've got to be a 16-round owner, okay? All right, let's talk about 5 overrated running backs. I'm going to pull up all the stats, pull up the current ADPs. So we're just going to be chilling out like we're buddies, which we are, and we're going to be chilling here, and I'm going to be going over why I would not draft these guys. So let's have some fun. All right, first guy here is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's a guy you'll never see me draft. That's just bottom line. Let's put it this way. Last year in 2020, he was a top 10 running back according to consensus. What did I say in 16 rounds? Stay away. Okay, I said stay away. It was a suspect offense. Burrow was coming in. AJ Green had been washed up. T. Higgins was a rookie. And I knew that the offense wouldn't gel. It's about seeing things before they happen, right? Sure enough, Mixon got hurt, finished 49th. Guys, 49th amongst running backs. This guy was drafted end of first round, early second, okay? As late as mid-second round last year. Going into 2021 fantasy football, looking at the rankings, currently sitting number 11th. It's like they haven't learned or something like that. The mainstream keep pumping this guy out. Now, there is some things going for him. He is in a minimal committee, so it's not like he's going to lose a lot of volume potentially. Now, they did, let's take a look quickly at their depth chart here. It doesn't, they've got Samaj Pirine, Chris Evans, Puka Williams, Travion Williams, who's done nothing there. There really isn't a guy that's going to come in and take some volume away from him, but he's just not that good of a player. That's the problem. So I've said this before, right? In regards to my running backs to avoid, his pinnacle year was 2018. So I'm going to pull this up in PPR. 243 points. That's his ceiling. That's his 4 years in the NFL. 4 years. He's finished one season in 2019. His pinnacle year happened in 2018. 1,168 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.9 yards per carry, 243 PPR fantasy points. That's it. That's his pinnacle. On an offense that I still think is young, still developing. Yes, they've got Jamar Chase. They've got themselves a bona fide true wide receiver one, potentially, right? We don't know. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they got Tyler Boyd there. They got CJ Uzomah there, right? But do I trust them? I can't even pronounce CJ Uzomah, Samaj Perine. So, this offense doesn't really excite me. Okay. So am I going to draft him? No. Is he overrated at 11? Yes. There's better running backs to draft. I genuinely think that I would rather have Cam Akers. I'd rather have, let me just take a look here, pull up the Concheapsis rankings here. I would rather have a ton of other people over him. I'm not really sold on DeAndre Swift because of the offense. I love Swift. Love the opportunity there this year. But again, the offense is suspect. But I'd probably rather have Swift. I'd rather have Najee Harris. Probably rather have David Montgomery. Even though I don't like him, and we were supposed to box, if you guys don't know the narrative. If you're not following on Instagram, follow at Fantasy Football Counselor. Josh Jacobs got pissed because I got pissed when he said that he lied to fantasy. Remember Josh Jacobs lied to fantasy owners last year? He said he was supposed to play, then he didn't end up playing. So I said, screw you, Jacobs. You can't lie to the fantasy community. Show some respect. And he said that he wasn't going to play a game. He ended up playing. Tried to screw fantasy owners. Anyway, I'd rather have Josh Jacobs over Joe Mixon, okay? There's some upside here, some other rookie running backs. Bottom line is I'm not sold on Joe Mixon. I think he's overrated. Pinnacle year, I just stated that to you. I'm not going to draft him. I think he's completely overrated. Last year, top 10, finished 49th. This year, top 11. Who knows? I mean, he could probably improve on the 49th because if he stays on the field, right? 49th overall amongst running backs. So, Joe Mixon's the first guy, okay? Second guy here, there's a lot of talk about this guy, Austin Ekeler. Let me give you some backstory here on the Austin Ekeler situation. Last year, going into the season, Austin Ekeler was hyped, okay? Going into 2020 because he had a pretty decent 2019 campaign. He was starting to emerge. So, Austin Ekeler, to me, is a backup, okay? So I don't mean to be mean here, but he kind of sucks. What has Austin Ekeler done? What has he done? So I'm going to pull up his stats here. Now, he does get involved in the receiving game, and I do like the Chargers. I'm a big Herbert fan. I think there's a ton of upside with him. I think they're going to be a good team, but I think they don't have a starting running back, okay? So let's play with some facts here. He had total rushing touchdowns, okay? 9 rushing touchdowns in 4 seasons, okay? I did this stat on my Instagram where Derrick Henry in one season last year outdid Austin Ekeler completely in 4 seasons combined, okay? Now, you can make an argument, Joe, well, this guy, receives a lot. He's a receiving running back, yes. And there isn't competition, yes. And they improved the O-line, yes. And I get it, right? I get it. I definitely see some upside here. But as a player, once you are a backup, you're always going to be a backup. I don't care what you say. He is a scat pass-catching running back. People compare him to Alvin Kamara. He's not anywhere talent level as Alvin Kamara, period. This guy couldn't even beat Melvin Gordon passing the depth chart, barely. He's not good. I don't know what to tell you. He's just not good. So he's 26, 5'10", 200, catches the ball, and again, on a good team. And I definitely see the opportunity. But last year, they told you to draft this guy end of first round, early second, and he busted significantly. So for that reason alone, well, Joey got injured. I don't care if he got injured. That's part of it. My whole argument was, when I said that he was going to bust, he came onto my social media. This is the story last year. He came onto my social media saying, Joe, why am I going to bust? I'm like, well, you're not a full workhorse running back. You can't handle the load. Sure enough, he couldn't handle the load because he got hurt. That's the whole point. I could say they could put me as the RB1 on the Chargers, and I could say I'm great because I'm slated as the RB1, but how am I going to finish a season? I'm just not built to finish a season, guys. As much as you want to be Superman, you're not Superman. I'm not Superman. He's not Superman. As much as he wants that power that he thinks he's got, I'm not sold on Austin Ekeler. I don't like him. He didn't apologize to me after I was right. I said, I am right. You will bust this year. You cannot handle the workload. And he did not come back and apologize. Not only that, he blocked me because I was right. And, and everybody got angry at me last year. Joe, you got to draft Austin Ekeler round 1, early round 2. This was the whole debate. And what did I say? I said, no, not going to do it. And sure enough, he busted. Yes, he came out strong near the end of the season or whatever. Let me just take a look here. He had a couple good campaigns. He had a good week 12, 23.9 points, good for him. Then he had a 10-pointer. Then he had a 23.6-pointer. So, and then 11-pointer, 15 and 17. So steady, 2 big games when he came back, week 12 and 14 last year. I mean, we're talking first-round pick here. We're talking they've got him ranked number 8th. If that's not, he's a backup, for one. He has not finished, he finished the 2019 season, but he did okay. But he's just not a guy that is built to be a workhorse running back. He has not proven he's a workhorse running back. I'm not going to put him in the top 10. I'm just not going to draft him. He's going to be overrated. He's going to be drafted based on ADP. He will not be on my team. I'd rather have Najee Harris, who is ranked currently 17th on the consensus rankings right now, who was actually ranked 24th. He's sliding up the rankings the more I talk about him. That's fine. That's okay. So I'm staying away. Austin Ekeler, screw you. You could have a great season in PPR. And again, I like the offense, but for me, he's not a workhorse running back. He hasn't proven he's a workhorse running back. I'm staying away. Overrated, okay? Next guy that I think is overrated, and you guys can say, well, not really, Joe. He's currently sitting 26th amongst running backs. He's kind of like a tier 5 kind of guy, but he's 26th, and people will draft him thinking he's going to be an RB1, which I don't believe. The guy I'm talking about is Melvin Gordon. Now, Melvin Gordon, again, sucked. He sucked on the Chargers. He's had some mediocre years. He's a slightly above par running back. Now, last year, had a pretty good season, finished 14th amongst running backs, 986 yards, 9 touchdowns, 215 attempts. Now, we saw last year that Philip Lindsay was coming in, and he got banged up, but he had over 100 attempts. I can't remember the exact amount. But Lindsay was getting fed. Lindsay was actually getting fed. So that's a sign to me this year, that this is a really good sign to me, that Williams, the rookie they drafted, is going to eat this year. Now, where is Williams sitting right now in the rankings? He's sitting 41st in the rankings. Javonte Williams. The Broncos invested an early draft pick, high draft capital, I think it was second round or so, on Javonte Williams. First or second round. I don't have it in front of me here. Where was he drafted? I don't have it. Okay. Early. It was like second round. So the bottom line is they brought in Javonte Williams, okay? And he's going to eat. He's young. He's dynamic. He looks good. He was one of the best running backs in this draft class coming in, okay? So I know Javonte Williams is more talented than Melvin Gordon, and I know that he could emerge here on the depth chart. So again, if we saw the split last year, let me actually pull up the split. I don't want to talk hypothetical here. Let's talk actual facts. So Philip Lindsay had, I said around over 118 attempts in 11 games last year. So Melvin Gordon had 215. Now again, Philip Lindsay wasn't the future. Philip Lindsay was a backup. Philip Lindsay was an undrafted free agent that had a good year back, a year or two ago. So, there's more upside with Javonte Williams. So I'm taking Javonte Williams for free later as a guy that could definitely emerge past Melvin Gordon. Looking at Melvin Gordon's stats, I mean, he's just not that good. He's been playing since 2015. His pinnacle year, listen to this, guys. This is actually true. Melvin Gordon actually has only listen to this, okay? One season, which was in 2017, over 1,000 yards rushing. That's it. You've been playing since 2015. What's that, 6 seasons? And you've got one season over 1,000 rushing yards, and he averaged 3.9 yards a carry that season. His pinnacle fantasy year was the same season, actually, where he had 288 fantasy points, and then 275 the year after, then 180, 198 last year. Unacceptable. So Javonte Williams is coming in. I get him for free. Probably going to pass Melvin Gordon. Javonte's going to be my RB4, RB5 on my team because I'm going robust RB strategy. I just think people are going to draft Melvin Gordon thinking he's going to be the one on the team, and he probably will initially coming into the season, but I'm not sold on Melvin Gordon being that good. I'm not sold on Melvin Gordon being the solution there, and I know that the Broncos, for a fact, I've heard it from coaching, I've heard it from ownership, I've heard it in videos, I've watched stuff, they want a workhorse running back, okay? They're trying to figure themselves out with quarterback. They're trying to figure everything out. I think Javonte Williams, if he plays hard, could easily take over Melvin Gordon. And it might not be week 1, but it will be eventually, okay? Not sold on Melvin Gordon. He's not going to wow me, and I'm not. Some people are going to draft him and go 0 RB, get some wide receivers, get themselves like a Mike Davis, and then get themselves a Melvin Gordon, okay? So the next guy actually is actually Mike Davis. Now, man, I'm getting a lot of heat for this one because I don't know if you guys saw it, but the quad picture came out with Mike Davis. I don't know if you guys saw it where his quads look like bigger than Saquon Barkley's quads, right? I don't know if you guys saw that. So a lot of people high on Mike Davis. Now, I kind of understand why he's slated as the starter, on the Atlanta Falcons right now. But looking at Mike Davis's numbers last year, you kind of want to get excited for him. He finished, believe it or not, he finished 12th in PPR. He was the backup to Christian McCaffrey, right? Let's talk about this, okay? This was a guy that, man, if you're talking about years to wow me, we're not wowed, this is the guy. Now, from a fantasy perspective, I'm going to pull this up in PPR. From a fantasy perspective, he literally did nothing in 2015, 2016, and 2017. Like, absolutely nothing. He played on San Fran for 2 years, and then he played on Seattle. And then, 2018 had a decent year in Seattle, 112 attempts, 13 attempts in 2019 with Carolina. And then CMC went down. He had his pinnacle year in his 6th year. Now, when I look at running backs like this, I think mediocre. I think years to wow us, we're not wowed. So when I look at Mike Davis, I'm just like, you know what? Like, he's slated as the starter. Gurley was phenomenal talent. I know he had the knee injury, but he was slated as a starter with the Falcons last year. And he's ultra elite, right? And has proven he's ultra elite. And he couldn't get it done in Atlanta on a throw-first team where they acquired Kyle Pitts now. And, Ridley's good. We don't know what's going on with Julio at the time of this recording. He's probably going to get shipped off. If he's there, he's just going to get a ton more volume. So, Mike Davis slated as a starter. I don't think that's a solution. I think he runs hard, so to his credit, but I think he's overrated. I think people are going to overpay for him. They saw that, they saw this picture with the quads, but again, he's currently sitting 32nd on the consensus rankings, but I think just people are just going to see him slated as the running back 1 and will overdraft. And that being said, if he falls, he could be decent value. Am I going to draft him? Probably not. I just think the name is overrated. The picture is overrated. I think that the hype around him is overrated. I think that the Falcons have him slated at number 1, in their depth chart is overrated. They drafted a couple rookies, Javian Hawkins being one of them. It's just like, maybe those guys can emerge, but it's a bit of a disaster there. But again, we saw even with Gurley there, and maybe they were trying to preserve Gurley's knee, which was absolute crap. They went to a committee last year. So a lot of those guys got shipped off, and now you're looking at Mike Davis being the starter. There isn't a lot of competition right now on paper that looks like it's going to surpass him, but I think he's just going to be overrated. I'm not sold on him. Again, I just told you years to wow me. I'm not wowed. Had a good year because CMC was gone last year, got the volume, ran hard, and understand sometimes when you have to step into a role where another running back did really well and you have to fill some big shoes, you kind of step up to the occasion and kind of prove your name. He's not the solution in Atlanta. And again, I could be wrong, but I just think he's going to be overrated. Last guy here is Miles Sanders, currently sitting 15th on the consensus rankings. Again, still ahead of Najee Harris at the time of this recording. Still ahead of David Montgomery, guys like Josh Jacobs. Still ahead of guys like, obviously Javonte Williams, who I think has a high ceiling. Ahead of guys like James Robinson. And, Miles Sanders, the problem is here, guys. The biggest problem for me is that I don't trust his offense. We don't know who's starting there. Hurts is probably fighting for the position. He's a running quarterback. He's going to be running as well. Then you've got Kerryon Johnson come in there. They drafted Kenneth Gainwell in round 5. Last year, Miles Sanders, even though the opportunity was pretty good for him, he finished, he had 164 attempts. Like, that's not exciting. This is a guy that was poised to have a good season. I'm just going to take a look here at the Eagles breakdown last year. Now, Boston Scott was there at 80 attempts. Jordan Howard was there last year. But, Miles Sanders, 164 attempts. That's pretty much unacceptable as a guy that's supposed to be slated as the RB1. So, to me, a lot of people I think are going to overpay for Miles Sanders. And I'm just going to go ahead and stay away from everything. And he finished 21st last year, okay, in standard. In PPR, I believe he finished where did he finish? 23rd with 170 points. I'm just going to go ahead and stay away from the suspect offense that is Philly. And I just think he's going to be overrated again. I'm just not sold on him being the guy. If he was the guy, they wouldn't have brought in Kerryon, the scraps from Detroit. Kerryon sucks as well, but again, it's just like, what are they doing? I think they definitely want to go by our running back by committee scenario. And again, to have him sitting 15th right now, I think there's going to be so many people that are going to outperform him. Swift is just ahead of him at 14. Again, Najee Harris, I can't believe it. I'd probably rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though he's going to have timeshare and they throw the ball a lot there and he's going to be minimal with his attempts. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a little more explosive, a better running back overall, and he's at 16 right now on the consensus ranking. So there's a ton of other guys that I'd probably rather have. James Robinson, who's slated as the starter, sitting at 27th right now, a little bit underrated, understandably so to some degree because of Travis Etienne there. But again, I think Miles Sanders is overrated, and I'm going to stay away. I'll give you a bonus one here that I'm staying away from is Nick Chubb. Again, a guy that's basically splitting the backfield with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt outscoring him 2 years in a row in PPR, and you could say that he got injured, but that's all part of it, right? So Nick Chubb finished 17th in 2018, 8th in 2019, and 11th in 2020. Last year had a good, strong finish, 298 attempts, 8 touchdowns, 1,400 plus yards. Again, Nick Chubb, hard runner, but not involved in the passing game, and they've got Kareem Hunt there, so I'm going to stay away, and he's significantly overrated. He is ranked, top 8 right now or something like that. He's in the top 10. So, again, I'm going to stay away, again, from Nick Chubb as well. So, overrated running backs, Joe Mixon, Austin Ekeler, Melvin Gordon, Miles Sanders, Nick Chubb, and Mike Davis. Again, I'm going to probably avoid them. There's better running backs with more volume available in the ADPs that some of these guys are going for, and you're better off probably going with other options. So, again, make sure you guys are subscribed. I will be going over running backs that I love. Must-have running backs coming very soon. Going to go over wide receivers, quarterbacks that are overrated as well. A lot of content to cover now as we quickly start approaching to the fantasy football season. I'm beyond excited. Okay, guys? Manscaped.com. Use promo code ShowerLion and get the 16-round draft solution. I'm out, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tell a friend. Subscribe. Thumbs up. I'm out.